Legendary Italian film actor Claudia Cardinale has passed away at the age of 87, leaving behind a cinematic legacy spanning 8 decades, and including a handful of classic films that remain essential today. Cardinale made her debut in 1958's Gohar, leaving an impression that had major European directors lining up to cast her in their films. She went on to work with the likes of Luchino Visconti, Federico Fellini, and spaghetti western director Sergio Leone, along with scores of others. Hollywood came calling in 1963, and Cardinale soon established herself as a star on both sides of the Atlantic, alongside fellow Italian actresses such as Sophia Loren, Anna Mognoni, and Gina Lollobrigida. Her American films saw Cardinale co-starring with legendary Hollywood names like John Wayne, Peter Sellers, Burt Lancaster, Tony Curtis, and Rock Hudson. The Legend of Frenchy King. Claudia Cardinale holds a pistol in a scene from The Legend of Frenchy King. The Legend of Frenchy King co-stars Cardinale with fellow icon Brigitte Bardot, in an offbeat spaghetti western casting the pair as adversaries who eventually join forces to get revenge on the men who jailed them. While Frenchy King was critically panned in its day, its spaghetti western trappings make it of interest to fans of that enduringly popular genre. The teaming of Bardot and Cardinale is itself historic, as it brings together two of the most famous sex symbols of the era. The Legend of Frenchy King is also notable as a gender-bending film that provocatively casts Bardot as a female outlaw who dresses like a man, and Cardinale as the unlikely female leader of a rowdy frontier town. Don't Make Waves. Claudia Cardinale lights Tony Curtis' cigar in a scene from Don't Make Waves. Cardinale stars opposite Tony Curtis and Sharon Tate in a 1960s sex comedy that's a cut above most other examples of that largely outdated genre. The Italian star's winning charm is on full display as she becomes romantically entangled with the bachelor Curtis, while also carrying on an affair with a married man. Don't Make Waves benefits greatly from the sure hand of Alexander McKendrick, a comedy director schooled in the Ealing Studios style of subtle, satirical wit. Tate is particularly memorable as a sexually frustrated beach girl, who shifts her attention from her celibate bodybuilder boyfriend to the non-celibate Curtis. Don't Make Waves made few waves with critics in its day, but it holds up much better than other sex comedies of its era, thanks to superlative writing and directing, and a fine cast. Big Deal on Madonna Street. Claudia Cardinale helps an injured man in a doorway in a scene from Big Deal on Madonna Street. Cardinale has a small role in Big Deal on Madonna Street, but would herself become a big deal thanks to the early impression she made in films like this award-winning comedy, which was remade by Joe and Anthony Russo as Welcome to Collinwood. Director Mario Monicelli intended Big Deal on Madonna Street as a parody of serious heist films like Riffify, setting a template for breezy caper comedies that would lead to everything from The Pink Panther to Ocean's 11. The film was Italy's nominee for the Best Foreign Language Film Oscar, but lost out to Jacques Tati's Mon Oncle. It currently holds an 89% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Sandra. Claudia Cardinale lies in bed looking warily over her shoulder in a scene from Sandra. Cardinale made 3 classic films with acclaimed Italian director Luchino Visconti. The third of them, Sandra, cast her as the lead in a modern-day retelling of the Greek myth of Electra. The film deals with subject matter that remains controversial, which is no surprise considering it was co-written and directed by Visconti, a filmmaker who had no trouble tackling such material. Visconti keeps intact the brother-sister incest from the Electra story, while increasing the darkness factor by tying the story in with Nazi atrocities. Sandra's unique blending of ancient mythology and modern-day tragedy remains powerful today, and was indeed lauded in its time, winning the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival. The Professionals. Claudia Cardinale talks to someone in a scene from The Professionals. The Professionals is a western whose cast is filled with legendary stars of the genre, including Burt Lancaster, Lee Marvin, Woody Strode, Robert Ryan, and Jack Palance. Cardinale plays Maria, a kidnapped rancher's wife whose rescue is undertaken by the titular Professionals. The Professionals features a plot twist that changes the stakes of its story, making it stand out from other big-budget westerns. The film is a solid example of the western team-up movie, a subgenre that became big in the 1960s after the success of The Magnificent Seven, and remains influential to this day through superhero team-up films like The Avengers. The movie received 3 Oscar nominations, including one for its outstanding cinematography, and another for Richard Brooks' gritty, intelligent direction. The Pink Panther. Claudia Cardinale smiles in a scene from The Pink Panther. Peter Sellers created one of his most iconic characters in The Pink Panther, starring as the bungling Inspector Clouseau in an all-star heist comedy that includes Cardinale as the beautiful Princess Darla, the owner of the titular Pink Panther diamond, whose notoriety makes it a sought-after target for would-be thieves. The Pink Panther is widely regarded as less funny than its sequel A Shot in the Dark, but it is still an unmissable comedy thanks to Blake Edwards' co-writing and direction, its cast of famous actors all behaving shadily, its hilarious Sellers performance, and its iconic title sequence. Unusually for a film released in 1963, The Pink Panther spawned a whole franchise, one that was revived by Steve Martin in 2006 reboot. The Leopard. Burt Lancaster and Claudia Cardinale dance at a grand ball in a scene from The Leopard. Burt Lancaster plays a Sicilian prince, but such bizarre casting does nothing to diminish The Leopard, a cinema classic. Cardinale plays Angelica, the daughter of a wealthy don, who becomes a chess piece in a game of politics. The Leopard features spectacular art direction and costumes, true to its reputation as one of the most lavish historical epics of its era. The film's reputation has indeed only grown over the years, as restoration work has repaired the editing and dubbing issues that plagued its initial release. Visconti's epic historical film, now available in all its 70mm Technicolor glory, won the Palme d'Or at the 1963 Cannes Film Festival and is now regarded as arguably the director's masterpiece. Martin Scorsese has named The Leopard his favorite movie of all time. 8½. Claudia Cardinale smiles alluringly while holding out a glass of water in a scene from 8½. Cardinale plays an idealized version of herself in Federico Fellini's legendary autobiographical film, starring Marcello Mastroianni as Guido, a creatively blocked film director. Fellini's dreamlike experiment in cinematic self-portraiture won the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film, and ranked 6th on the 2022 Sight and Sound Survey Directors list. Many a filmmaker has drawn inspiration from Fellini's masterpiece, including Woody Allen, David Lynch, Bob Fosse, and Charlie Kaufman. 8½ may be the most narcissistic movie ever made, but it's also one of the most dazzling displays of cinematic style ever committed to celluloid.